We have to go to the Caucasus Mountains. And there at the Caucasus Mountains, we have to look for a people with power. There have to be a people whose power was greater than any other power in the world at that time. We have to look for a people who will eventually be moving from that northern area and moving towards Jerusalem. Shortly after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, something very mysterious happened in that part of the world that historians have chosen to bury. A tribe called the Khaza chose to embrace Judaism. And so the world witnessed for the first time the very strange phenomenon of a non-Semitic people becoming Jews. Non-Semitic becoming Jews. The genetic research is available on the internet. Anyone can study it. You have conferences, medical conferences, which were organized to study these people, their genetic composition. They had a genetic composition which was unique in all of mankind. No people in the world were like them. This is scientific research. And these people, the Khaza, chose to convert to Judaism, but they did so not for any religious reasons. They were not so much interested in the Kitab and to follow the law. They embraced Judaism for purposes of political expediency. They were sandwiched between Islam and Christianity, Byzantine Christianity, and they chose Judaism. These European Jews who have no racial, biological connection with the Banu Israel multiplied. وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ. They multiplied and breeded to such an extent that today 9 in every 10 Jews in the world, 90% or more, are European Jews. They outnumber the Semitic Jews by 9 to 1 or 10 to 1. These European Jews, if you look at the list of names of Nobel Prizes for science, for literature, would you name it, you will find that these are people who far exceed the rest of mankind in their intellectual brilliance, in their academic achievements, in their scientific research. They are a people different from the rest of mankind. And then you find that these Khaza who became Jews also chose to become Christians. So you have the Khaza infiltrating the camp of Judaism, and infiltrated the camp of Christianity as well. And from the ranks of these Khaza Jews and Khaza Christians, the emergence of the Jewish-Christian alliance can be traced. It is this Jewish-Christian alliance, Khaza, which eventually gives birth to the Zionist movement. The Zionist movement has absolutely nothing to do with Banu Israel. It is an essentially and an exclusively European achievement. It is these Khaza who, having become Jews, first Jews and then Christians, who built an empire that was the most powerful in Europe and Central Asia. And when the armies of Islam had simultaneously defeated the two superpowers in the world, the Persian Empire and Byzantium, and had emerged as the most powerful military force in the world, Khaza blocked our way. We could not defeat them. And so it would be quite correct to say that the Khaza demonstrated a military power without equal in the world at that time. It is from this part of the world that they spread out. They spread out to Eastern Europe, they spread to Russia, and eventually crossed the sea to the United States. And they are at the heart of the revolutions which transformed Europe from Christendom into modern Western civilization. They are at the heart of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, which overturned Christianity in Russia. They are at the heart of the French Revolution, in consequence of which the back of the Christian church is broken. The prohibition of riba is now consigned to the garbage bin. And they are at the heart of the creation of the Zionist movement. It is these Khaza, Jewish and Christian, who now move to the Holy Land, assisted by a strange and mysterious Jewish Holocaust. And the history of that will one day be revealed on Judgment Day. How much was their input into the Holocaust? So that you have an exodus now of these European Jews to the Holy Land. When the state of Israel comes into being, who it is who controls power in Israel? Not the Oriental Jews, the darker-skinned Jews. No, they are second-class citizens. The ones who control power in Israel are the European Jews. There is the last part of this analysis, which is absolutely fascinating. I have to confess that I enjoyed writing this book. I know that we'll have to write a second edition because there are very important parts which are left out for size. But here's the hadith, that after Nabi Isa alayhi salam returns, and after he kills Dajjal, the hadith says, فَبَعَثَ اللَّهُ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ. Allah will send Gog and Magog. I think the meaning here is he will send them now to their final destruction. This is the sending. And they will pass by the Sea of Galilee, which is when it's going to go dry. And then the Isa alayhi salam will be targeted. They won't spare him. And he will go up the mountain, which is a mountain in Baytul Maqdis, Sahih Muslim. And the believers will go up the mountain with him. And Gog and Magog will then say, now listen carefully, we have killed those on earth. Now let us kill those in the heavens above. And they will shoot their arrows up into the sky. And Allah will allow the arrows to come back down with blood. And then Nabi Isa alayhi salam will make dua to Allah to destroy them. And Allah will send something like a tiny little insect, a virus, something, which attacks them at the top of the spine. And they display an amazing incapacity to defend themselves. The immune system seemed to have collapsed completely. And this little insignificant biological attack, that's all it takes. And they fall down, paralyzed. And by next morning, not only are they dead, but their bodies are decomposing and smelling stink. And then Allah's messenger, Nabi Isa alayhi salam, will pray to Allah and he will send birds, prehistoric birds, whose necks will be like camels. And they will pick up these bodies and take them where Allah ordains that they be disposed of. This is a crucially important hadith that I have chosen not to deal with in detail in this book, because I don't think that I have fathomed it enough. But this much I recognize, that we're dealing with a Gog and Magog confrontation, which will involve what today is called Star Wars. Missile technology that will send missiles up into the sky, a war involving missiles up in the heavens. Why would you send missiles up in the sky? Because you have a spy station up there. And they're directing their war from there. So if you want to defeat them here on the earth, you're going to have to destroy that revolving spy station up there. I want to suggest to you that the coming Gog and Magog confrontation, we have defeated those on earth, now let us defeat those in the heavens above, is a confrontation between Gog and Magog, which will leave both Gog and Magog eventually paralyzed. So I have to look in the region of the Caucasus Mountains, north of the Caucasus. I have to look for those who have the capacity for sending the arrows up into the sky, the missiles, the Star Wars technology. I know that Gog and Magog are working in tandem with Dajjal. And the objective is that Dajjal must establish his rule over the whole of mankind. And he's using Gog and Magog as his foot soldiers. If one people are to rule the world, and you have two people with equal power, Gog and Magog, then the one has to establish its authority over the other. Gog has to rule Magog, or Magog has to rule Gog. Do I need to continue the lecture? Or have you already understood it? We must locate two centers of power in the world, both seemingly indestructible, both matchless in the world, both with a capacity for Star Wars, and one attempting to establish its rule over the whole world, and therefore its rule over Magog, and Magog resisting. Not the Chinese. Chinese are businessmen. The Chinese are businessmen. How much do you offer? But the Russians will never submit. Russia is precisely such a power that Russia can stand up. Russia gave them a bloody nose in Georgia just a year ago. And Russia is in a fighting mood. They have been circling Russia, NATO, building an offensive nuclear missile capacity around Russia, taking the former states of the Soviet Union and bringing them into NATO. The last one now, which remains, I think Ukraine, there's still some tussle going on, but Georgia is the one they're trying to get. And so we can now comfortably lean back and relax, because we know what's coming ahead. It's going to be a Star Wars confrontation between Russia on the one hand and its allies, which refuses to submit to someone ruling the world from Jerusalem, and therefore refuses to submit to the Anglo-American-Israeli alliance of the West. And this side with an obstinate, pig-headed, irrational determination, we will have to impose our rule over Russia, regardless of consequences. And this leads to the confrontation, the Star Wars conflict, which is coming ahead of us. And that Star Wars conflict, when it takes place, will be mutually destructive. And when it is mutually destructive, when nuclear weapons are used on such a mass scale, I think it is not far-fetched for us to believe that the capacity for electronic warfare will cease. And so it's horses once more. It's horses once more. It's conventional warfare once more. And Israel has been set up by the European Jewish-Christian alliance, set up. And now Banu Israel are left defenseless to face the army of Islam. It is at that time, when Gog and Magog are gone, when Dajjal has been killed, that Allah's words will be remembered. وَإِنْ عُدْتُمْ عُدْنَا. If you come back to the Holy Land with your wickedness and oppression, I will return with my punishment. And so a Muslim army now attacks and destroys this imposter state of Israel. At that time, said Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, لَتُقَاتِلُنَّ الْيَهُودِ. I quoted this hadith at the State University of New York in Stony Brook with the Jews sitting in front of me. And they went and they complained to the head of the university. I said, what did I do? If I don't have the freedom to quote the Quran and the hadith, I might as well go and plant peace. Where is your freedom? لَتُقَاتِلُنَّ الْيَهُودِ. You will most certainly fight the Jews. وَلَتَقْتُلُنَّهُمْ. And you will most certainly kill them. حَتَّى يَقُولُ الْحَجَرُ. At that time even the stones will speak. Because the stones will have a higher sense of morality than those stones which inhabit their hearts. حَتَّى يَقُولُ الْحَجَرُ. At that time even the stones will speak. Ya Muslim, O Muslim, هَذَا يَهُودِيٌّ وَرَائِي فَتَعَالَ فَقْتُلْ. There's a Jew hiding behind me. So come and kill him. Not all Jews. No. Because there'll be other Jews who'll be with us, standing up to face an Israeli tank, giving their lives in standing up to oppression. So not all Jews. No. Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam is talking about the Jew who is the agent of oppression. This is the one. There's a Jew hiding behind me, so come and kill him. We are now able, therefore, to offer, and all that we're doing is offering a preliminary opinion of identifying Gog and Magog in terms of the centers of power, not individual. Don't ask me for names, because we have Gog and Magog in Egypt as well now. And I'm reliably informed that Gog and Magog in Islamabad, in Pakistan as well. And you have Gog and Magog all over the world. So don't ask for names. We now are in a position to offer what can best be described as a preliminary opinion, which is now subject to the critical examination by the Ummah, by the scholars. And a scholar would not take this book and refute it, rip it apart, by simply searching, where can I find a little crack in it? That's not scholarship. A scholar will go through it and see what is there in this which convinces me that it is the truth, and what is there in this where my brother may have fallen short in his analysis or may have erred, and then would respectfully offer an opinion to correct something where I may have gone wrong. That's scholarship. So now we have completed